Alright guys, welcome back to some 428 Shibuya. Now, remember, we gotta keep out on Minori. So if we look at our time chart, we're kept out on Minori, kept out on Tama, and we're on a to be continued on Achi. So we're gonna go and hop over to Kano. I'm doing Osawa's last because his is meh. I'm invested in everybody else's. Osawa's has yet to suck me in. So let's go to Kano, sorry. Kano had been watching syndicate members hand off the briefcase for over an hour and a half. He still had no idea where this relay might be headed. The man he was tailing now was about 10 meters away, close enough that Kano could close the distance and apprehend him at a moment's notice. But his orders remained the same: follow and observe. He watched as the case was handed off once more. By now, the shock of seeing it pass to yet another accomplice had worn off. It's already been 90 minutes, huh? God, look at that fucking kid. It was Sasayama. At some point, he crept up on Kano from behind. They don't seem like they're trying to get away at all, Kano said. They're just walking. What could they be up to? What could they be up to? Sasayama shrugged. Yeah, it's weird. He recalled Dictum number 89. I can't read that, my guy. Yeah, we know that one. If Tatino's wisdom had held true, the syndicate must have some reason for what it was doing. Were they just trying to throw the investigators off their scent? No, that couldn't be it. They were wandering in circles, staying right in the same area. They were just running up the clock. What if that's exactly what they're after? Buying time. I don't know, suddenly conviction that he was on the right track. If they needed more time to make sure they got their hands on the ransom payment... Wait, hold on. Could it be that... Ooh, this is a hard choice. I don't think the real case would have been switched out, because they've been watching them hand it off. But there is a possibility they removed the money and now are just passing an empty briefcase. Could it be that the ransom money wasn't even in the case anymore? I've got it! Sasayama perked up. You got what? Each time these crooks hand off the case, they sneak out a bundle of 1,000,000 yen. You keep doing that, and eventually the case itself is empty. Of course! That's how they've been playing us! Kano and Sasayama exchanged a look. How many people would need to make the switch for them to get all the money? Sasayama asked. 50 million yen divided by 1 million. That makes 5 people. And that's it then. No, wait. 50 people. That many? That can't be the deal then, Sasayama said. Guess not. They both sighed in unison. The man with the briefcase made his way back to Shibuya Station. The heck, Sasayama grumbled. He's right back to where we started. Kano felt his frustration growing. And honestly looked like the syndicate was just randomly lugging the case around town. Near Shibuya Station, a girl approached the suspect. She was Japanese, and entirely unlike any of the other criminal accomplices. She spoke to the man while showing him something on the notepad. He glanced at the pad, but did not slow down. Within moments, he had left her behind. It looked like she had just passed him a message. Well, that's sure fishy, Sasayama muttered. What, the girl? Asked Kano. Yeah, wanna go hit her up? Kano could only mean one thing, questioning her. Fuck. We've got other detectives on him, so I think we'll be alright if we question her real quick. Yeah, let's go see what she knows. Sasayama and Kano hurried over to the girl. Oh, she shows us. Excuse me, miss. We'd like to ask you a few... Are you happy with your life? The young woman shouted. She thrust a notepad into Kano's face. Tell me this. Are you happy with your life right now? Huh? Looking at the notepad, Kano saw the same question written in the big bold letters. The girl's eyes widened in surprise, as if she hadn't actually expected the man to actually stop and listen. Right now, sir, she continued more quietly, are you... Is this Chiaki? This has to be Chiaki. Are you happy? If so, could you please take this survey about, you know, about your life? Are you happy with it? The more she spoke, the more flustered she became. Sasayama stepped in. Hey, I need to know. Did you speak with that Western fellow just now? Huh? No, that isn't what I'm asking. Sir, are you happy with are you happy with your life right now? Are you happy with your life right now? Kano got a sinking feeling in his stomach. This kid was looking for some religious converts or something. You did speak with him, didn't you? Sasayama snapped. What did you tell him? The girl's rambling abruptly ceased. Her already ruddy face went even redder, and tears welled up in her eyes. Oh, don't be mean, Sasayama. This is Chiaki. This has to be Chiaki. Poor kid, Kano thought. She's just out here trying to get people to listen to her survey questions. There's no way she's part of this kidnapping plot. Look, miss, for the time being, it would be a good idea for you to leave the area. Afraid I'm not at liberty to explain. The girl's only response was to... Jesus, Chiaki is a fucking train wreck. The girl's only response was to start sobbing outright. I can't do this anymore. I want to go home. Kano and Sasayama exchanged awkward glances. I want to go home. I want to go home. Passerbys began shouting curious looks at the trio. Kano, you get back to work, Sasayama said. I'll escort this girl to the train station. He didn't quite manage to stifle the embarrassment in his voice. Right, Kano said. He hurried away, his eyes already searching for the suspect they'd been tailing. They're gonna make me... That's gonna fuck Mino. I can already tell you that's gonna fuck Mino. It didn't take long to find him. The man's black garb made him stand out in the crowd at the intersection. It occurred to Kyle that all the criminals who handled the briefcase had been wearing the same black clothing. That fact made the whole situation even weirder. Could they really be ignorant that they were being followed while they were all wearing the same eye-catching outfit? It was more like they were going out of their way to make sure the investigators spotted them. That still didn't provide any clues as to what they were after, though. Long ago, Kano kept tailing these guys, the less it made all it all made sense. Was it really such a good idea to keep this up? Someone's life was in danger, and they're just letting the kidnappers carry out their plan, whatever it was. The very first page of the diary spelled things out loud and clear on that front. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, ever. Right now, the single most important thing was ensuring the hostage's safety. This was a situation where Tateno would have stuck to his guns for sure. Kano thought back to that day 3 years ago. You began a flashback. The burglar had shut himself inside a financial office and doused the place in gasoline. Kano had just been put on police box duty and was ordered to the scene because his box was just down the street from his standoff. Nobody is assigned to a detective post right after graduating. Detective positions can be quite hard to come by. Selected a lot of experience working at a local police box. Several officers had surrounded the building, keeping close tabs on the situation. The suspect had been shouting nonsense to the entrance on the first floor. Things were getting heated. A crowd of alarmed onlookers had started to form as well. "Step aside!" a voice suddenly said amidst the throng. A middle-aged man in a rumpled business suit approached Kano as he hovered nervously at the edge of the scene. I'm sorry, sir, you have to stay back for your own safety. He attempted to usher man back into the crowd. A no-nonsense look crossed the newcomer's face. He spoke in a low voice. I'm Detective Tatano from the Shibuya precinct. What's the situation? Oh, sir, I'm so sorry. Yes, of course. Tatano stammered and then quickly explained. He hadn't taken anyone hostage, but there are still people on the upper floors of the building. Giving only a slight nod, Tatano marched straight up to the building. The plastic container of gasoline the suspect had used was on the ground out front. Tatano picked it up and dumped the remaining contents over his head. Kano was at a loss for words. He couldn't believe what he was saying. I've covered myself in gasoline too, Tatano called from the entry. The tension in the air ratcheted itself up several notches. Hey, what the hell do you think you're doing? Kano heard the burglar shout from inside. If you're gonna do it, do it! Tatano called out. We can die together! And he walked into the building. All Kano could do was watch things unfold through the plate glass window. Tatano was talking to the burglar, but Kano couldn't make out the words. The cook was clutching a lighter, his hand trembling. His expression was like that of a frightened child. Tatano slowly approached him and took firm hold of his shaking hand. The onlookers erupted into cheers and applause. Tatano handed the now docile suspect over to the detectives, then wearily sat down against the planter out front. It was like something ripped straight out of a police drama. That was amazing, Kano breathed. You have to deal with guys like that as quickly as you can. You let a situation like this get even a little out of hand, and you never know how things might go south on you. Tatano spoke quietly, almost as if he was talking to himself. As the police evacuated the rest of the building, Kano noticed that there were children and elderly people among them. If the perp had managed to set the fire, there was no way they could have escaped in time. But I mean, what if he actually set the place on fire? If someone's willing to risk their life, you're not going to convince them on anything unless you do the same. Kano still remembered the awe he felt at Tatano's matter-of-fact tone. Kano hadn't become a police officer out of any real sense of duty. He just thought it would make Rumi happy if he became a detective like her father. Besides, civil servants tended to stay afloat in times of recession, and his time playing rugby meant he was in good physical shape for the job. He never really thought too much about protecting the citizenry or keeping the peace. But now here he was in the presence of a detective who literally risked his life in the line of duty without a second thought. Oh, fucking yawning. A police officer never loses sight of what he's supposed to protect. Ever. Getting back to his feet, Tatano tugged off the gasoline-drenched coat and walked away. Kano wrote the words in a notebook he had just purchased. Thus, the Dick Diary was born. Such a dumb name. Thinking back to the way Tatano had put his line in the line, life on the line to rescue a bunch of strangers made Kano feel all the more raw about just tailing these syndicate members. Letting these crooks just wander around wasn't going to bring Maria Osawa to safety. Of that, Kano was now certain. Shoot! It's bleeding pretty bad, he heard someone say behind him. The fuck is that? Kano turned and saw two young men carrying another along. There was a towel wrapped around tightly around the third's head. Hey, what happened? Kano asked. Shut your mouth! Kano blotched. Can the attitude, he's trying to help. Another voice cut in. It was Sasayama. Had he finished dealing with the girl by the station then? What happened to your friend? Out of my way, man. I ain't afraid to kick your ass. Look, cut the crap and let me take a quick look. Sasayama unwrapped the towel from around the man's head. Ooh, that's nasty. The young guy was a little more than a kid. His head was soaked red with blood. He appeared to be unconscious. I ain't got time for this, Chief. I should probably call Juvenile Affairs. Public decency, finances, pollution. Deals with misconduct and criminal activity involving minors. Kano took out his cell phone so he could call the precinct, but Sasayama stopped him and then showed the two youngsters his badge. Ah, crap. You a cop? Sasayama nodded. Who are you kids with? The Bamfs? Number 2 gang, its leader Sohei Akira, has gathered up some big mean dudes in an attempt to make Shibuya his turf. The gang's leadership is inferior to that to SOS, but on an individual level, its members tend to be stronger in a fight. Word is that the rise of the Bamfs is one of the reasons SOS has been growing more combative recently. SOS? SOS, admitted one of the young men after some hesitation. Who attacked you? Yo, it ain't like that. What was it like then? Infighting? The young man was silent. Guess Sasayama must have been right on the mark. In the course of his police duties, Kano picked up a fair amount of street gossip from young people in Shibuya. Lately, the scuttlebutt about the legendary SOS gang was that they were dealing with some internal strife. Look, don't worry about it, I get it. There's a hospital just down that way. Hurry up and get him there. The young man batted off Sasayama's offered hand and quickly hauled his friend away. Sounds like SOS is on the verge of breaking up with all this infighting, huh? Kano asked. He kept his eyes on the young man as they headed off. Yeah, it seems like it's been pretty rough. You know, with the original leader leaving and all. The detectives and juvenile affairs were well acquainted with the SOS's original leader, which is Achi. Stories were like something out of an after-school special. They were tales of them taking out gangs who sold drugs to kids or breaking into Yakuza's front offices to save their friends. The detectives with juvenile affairs took these stories with a grain of salt, but if there really were young people like that out there, Kano hoped to meet them someday. The detectives had to hurry to catch up with the man they were tailing. He was still strolling along, seemingly in no particular hurry. They kept him in sight as he crossed another pedestrian overpass and circled back around. Still following the same MO, huh? Sasayama grumbled. Guess so, Kano said. How'd things go with the girl? He was careful not to take his eyes off the mark as they talked. I managed to calm her down and get her on a train. She was going on about how she wanted to go someplace far, far away, but whatever. It's all good now. I feel kind of bad about the whole thing, Kano said. Well, she's not pointing to the case anyhow. Guess it's back to dogging this guy. Sasayama nodded toward the suspect, looking none too pleased. So Sasayama, I'm thinking the briefcase is going to get handed off again at any moment. Huh? Sasayama appeared at the mark, who was scanning the plaza he just entered, apparently looking for someone. I take one side, you take the other, Kano suggested. Sasayama's eyes went wide. Say what now? That way, we apprehend both perps involved with the handoff. Sasayama didn't reply and looked. HQ isn't thinking about the hostage's safety, but that needs to take priority here. Sasayama's face took on a rare solemnity. Disobeying a direct order is not something to do lightly. Violating this is punishable by a warning, reduction in pay, suspension from duty, or dismissal. In the event of a warning, it is not only the individual expected to submit a formal letter of apology, but pay raise may be delayed, or performance bonuses cut. Then after a moment he added, but I'm on the board. But I'm on board. I'm sick of all this wandering around anyway. That's the Sasayama I know, Kano replied with a chuckle. Sasayama gave him a silent thumbs up. Not now, Rumi. The detectives took up position on either opposite sides of the plaza. Kano called up Sasayama on his cell phone. You ready, he asked. Just give the word. There were only 2 non-Japanese people in the nearby crowd. Both were eyeing their surroundings anxiously. Kano was certain that the handoff was about to take place. And then... well, well, well. If it isn't Mr. Toyama. Kano's ears perked up with the sound of an aggressive greeting, the sound dripping with foreign cheer. Ah, shit. What with Mr. Toyama? I knew I made a bad choice there, but... He rolled around to see 2 rough-looking young men confronting a father and his daughter. The older man looked pained. Please, just hold on, he said placatingly. I thought we agreed on 4 o'clock. The young man snarled. Don't you try and play dumb with us, buddy! It's nothing like that, I swear. My girl was just hungry, so I stepped out to... Yeah? How come you didn't just order delivery, huh? Ah, yes, right. I suppose that would work too. Ah ha ha. Don't you ah ha ha me, man! Kano watched the argument uneasily. The stranger's altercations put him in a bit of a spot. The crook he was tailing probably wouldn't risk handling off the case with an uproar like this going on. What's going on over here? Over there? Sasayama asked. I'm not sure. Looks like some kind of argument. Suspects are gonna get wary on us. It's gonna screw up the whole handoff. Yeah, I know. So do something about it and get over here, Sasayama said. What? Find some way to shut them up and then get over here. Oh, sure, alright. Kano headed toward the argument. He was only halfway there when Sasayama called again. He sounded panicked. Hey! Kano! He made a run for it! Huh? Oh, shit! The man who'd been tailing had vanished in the brief time Kano had taken his eyes off him. Wait up! Kano shouted. Sasayama were racing up to the suspect and Kano rushed to join him. The men were surprisingly quick, however, and neither detective managed to catch up. In fact, they soon lost sight of him amidst the teeming crowds. Frantically, they dashed through the streets as fast as hard as they could. Fuck me. Oh, I thought it was about to be a bad end. We lost him, Sasayama admitted at last. Damn it! He stamped his foot on the asphalt in disgust. Director Cruz, he gasped over the wireless. I'm sorry, but we lost the man with the briefcase. There was a heavy sigh on the other end of the line. Kano braced himself. He wasn't going to be able to weasel out of this one with just I'll do it better next time. Sasayama, Kano, get your asses back to the precinct. Cruz out. With that, Cruz switched off the line. Back to the precinct. Kano Fall knew well what that meant. They were off the case. There was a gnawing in his gut. If those 2 punks hadn't showed up, no. If that father and his daughter hadn't turned up, he might have been able to apprehend the suspect. Bad end. Ah, don't let it get you down, Sasayama said. I mean, paper pushing can be kind of fun. The look on his face, however, suggested that he didn't think it was fun at all. Not one bit. With the air of the 2 men heading to an execution, Kano and Sasayama trudged back toward the Shibuya precinct. Bad end. I already know how to fix it. Wait, what? A certain other someone needs to meet up with them outside his or her house. Both of those are key to changing Kano's fate. Well, I can fix one. What does that mean? And then we'll get the keep out again. You need to get back to the office ASAP. The office? But they'll find me there for sure. Hasayama's voice was a little more than a pathetic whimper. It's a little bit of reverse psychology. The last place the debt collectors are going to think you went is back to the office, right? Ah, I see, Toyama said. He sounded impressed by the suggestion. For now, just stay hidden until I can get these orders all finished. Alright.
Today's high near 57 degrees. Tonight, more cloud cover with a low exposure.